Hi, we're now streaming live. So I'm going to press record very shortly. We've got an absolutely awesome guest coming on today. So I don't know if you remember The Secret, and that's it. I was just looking for the record button there whenever it comes in. So yeah, remember The Secret. And oh, he's actually here already. Here you go. That was quick. So just welcoming Doug from the waiting room. He should be here. He's joining us now. Hello, Doug. How are you doing? Oh, I can't hear you yet. Let's just see.
There we are. That's important. I think I had it on mute. That was my fault.
There you go. Thank you so much. I was just about to introduce you and I went, oh, he's here already. There you go. Lovely for you to come on. So I was just going to explain to everybody who you are, but you're probably better off at doing that yourself anyway. So thank you so much for taking time out. I know you've got a heck of a busy schedule because there's something really great happening on Friday, isn't it?
It is indeed. We're very excited.
I'll let you tell it. This is all about you. Go ahead.
Well, obviously I want to be a service to your audience and help as best as we can. I guess just to give you a little bit of kind of who I am and my background. Long and short is I'm the producer of 3 of the top 10 personal development movies that are out there right now. So you've got The Secret, which is #1. And my first movie, The Opus, comes in at around #2, #3. But this will be movie #4 that comes out on Friday. So we're very excited. And we hope to answer actually some very significant questions. So if you remember, a few years back, there was a movie that said thoughts become things. And the things that we think about manifest themselves into our reality. But the challenge is that movie really never answered how. And so we're going to now talk about how your thoughts become things. In other words, what are the strategies? What are the methods of thinking? What is it that we need to dwell on really that's going to make these results? And I think right now with what's going on with the COVID virus, this is a very timely discussion because I think a lot of people, in fact, I was chatting yesterday with a reporter and he had said that it was his opinion that the health part of the COVID virus, that's obviously very dangerous and there's lots of people that have suffered, but he wonders how the fear part has really changed us as well as people. And he observed that there was a gentleman walking down the street the other day towards him, and he literally crossed the road so that he wouldn't be within social distancing of like this individual. And so I think that right now, as we're talking about how our thoughts really do shape our reality, we're all doing a lot of thinking, of course, being in sort of solitude or isolation mode, that now it's time to really bring us into being able to manifest the realities that we want, the things that we really desire.
No, I'm totally with you on that. We do literally, and I mean, I'll be one of those people who cross the road because I want to respect them, but I'm not afraid, I'm quite happy, I'm just like, getting on with it. But yes, I do recognize that when people are actually talking about it and I'm just like going, well, what do you want to investigate? Do you want to have a conversation over that for the next 40 minutes? Or would you like to focus on what you want to do for the next 40 minutes, and that's the thing about it. So I noticed that there was a trailer, about this video a long time ago. So what's your journey been like for this?
Yeah, well, here's the interesting thing is right after we did my first movie, The Opus, we started thinking about different ideas of films that we wanted to put out. And again, to kind of give my background, what I'm known for is I actually went out when I was a 19-year-old and I started interviewing people much like what Napoleon Hill did. So I got to more than 400 of the world's top achievers like Napoleon Hill. I got to people like Richard Branson, Oprah Winfrey. Yes, I got to Donald Trump. I got to like all these really incredible people. And so when I was thinking about what the next movie would be, I was thinking about thoughts become things, how thoughts become things. But it was interesting. I noticed at that time that there was a real deficiency in understanding true success ideas or principles or concepts. In fact, if you take almost any success book, they talk about goal setting, they talk about time management, they talk about, education, surrounding yourself with the right peer group and these kinds of things. But there was one thing that was missing and it was dramatically glaring out. And I decided I needed to make my next movie on that. So we put how thoughts become things on the shelf to make something called the gratitude experiment. Because the truth is all successful people operate with the principle of gratitude. And I know that you are one of Bob Proctor's people. Let me tell you something interesting. Bob and I, recently when we were shooting for How Thoughts Become Things, and he's kind of become like a grandpa to me, right? Just a really great person that I respect. And we sit and have these long sort of philosophical conversations. And we're talking about this idea, and this is, you've heard Bob say this a million times, everything in the universe, vibrates at a frequency, and he talks about the frequency vibrating. And so I said to him, I said, well, what is it actually that's vibrating? Like, what is the material that's vibrating? And we both kind of bantered a bit back and forth on what it could be, and maybe some things that scientists say and everything else. But together we came with the conclusion that everything in the universe is a different manifestation of either love or gratitude. That's really what everything is. It's either a manifestation of the deficiency of it, things that are now difficult and that we struggle with, and we either fear or we doubt or what have you, or it's something that has a high manifestation of love and gratitude, and then it flows very easily. And there's not a lot of obstructions. And some people call it being in your flow or in your zone. And I think that, we can certainly see that when we're filled with love, we often are so much like everything is better, right? Our relationships, our connections, and everything. And so I decided that was going to be my second film. I just thought it was such an important message to share. And so I didn't get a chance to come back and revisit that concept or that topic of how thoughts become things until now. And it's such an important topic because our thoughts, they really do manifest everything. And there's 5 key areas that everybody wants in life. It's a better connection to ourself. So self-worth, self-connection, feelings of validation, right? Our spirituality is another one, and we want to feel good about our universe and the things we connect to and ethically how we stand. We also next want our health to be better, which of course we're all thinking about now. And then there's lastly our relationships, not just to our significant others and ourselves and our siblings and all these things, but to everyone, our complete surrounding. And then lastly, our relationships always determine our abundance, because all of our abundance generally flows through a connection with someone. So in the film, we're going to talk about how you can level up your thinking to start manifesting these things, which is very cool.
That's awesome. And that's funny about the conversation I had that with somebody just before you. And it's literally, when she's talking about, well, how do you manage this? My neighbor is this, my neighbor is that, they're this, they're that. And I went, oh, there's a whole load of cause and effects that have gone on along there. I said, where did you come from? And the fear or the love side of thing. And we ended up having that conversation because that cause that was way back then could have started with fear. And you've just been a whole load of cause and effects right through to here. And you're trying to deal with this now. We need to go back there.
Yeah.
Start again.
Yeah. Well, it's also interesting too, because I hear a lot of the gurus now speaking about like toxic people or, critical people and all this. And they say, you need to cut them off and you need to separate yourself. Well, what's interesting is as I've had a chance, like I said, to interview more than 400 of the world's top achievers, I never once saw them say to a toxic person, go away. Or I never once saw them say, I won't deal with you. In fact, the way that top achievers really do things is they're problem solvers. They don't run from problems. So they look at how they can manage people and set up boundaries. So when a toxic person comes, they're not necessarily endorsing what they say, but they're also not dismissing them as a, sort of a useless person or a useless thing. And so I think it's very irresponsible what a lot of the gurus are sharing. And maybe later on a different conversation, we'll also talk about what does it mean to be a toxic person, because the truth of the matter is there are complainers and there are critics. Complainers, you don't need to listen to them. They're just complaining. There's no solution there. But a critic, sometimes they're a person who has something you need to hear, and it may not be comfortable for you. And the truth of the matter is most critics, they have a grain of truth in what they're saying. They're just not always the best communicators. So you might not like what they have to say, but you need to hear it. And I've had some critics in my life, especially as a teenager growing up, they said things to me and wow, I'm so glad I listened, right?
That's it. But it's also, we whisper in secret here, don't we? And then it's echoed out there. And so that's one of the things that I say to people is like, well, what's your vibration? What is it that you're feeling about this? Because it's not about them. This is all about you. So, but yeah, awesome. I can't wait to see it anyway on Friday. But so who's all in the cast?
Oh, we've got an incredible cast, and I'm so excited because every movie we've made, we've had some really amazing people, and in fact, most of these people have been in my other movies too. So it was kind of almost a reunion too. So let's start at the top. Obviously, we talked about Bob Proctor. Bob is in it. Bob was also the gratitude experiment, by the way. Just
Yeah.
fantastic, the work that he did with us. We've got Dennis Waitley, who all of you guys remember from The Secret, and he used to work with Olympians and NASA in terms of visualization. We've got John Osroff, who you remember in The Secret talked about vision boards and so many other things. And by the way, something that John said that was interesting in the film is he said he doesn't believe that thoughts become things. And you're going to see why, which is really interesting, right?
Oh, I like it.
We've got one of my best friends, John DeMartini from The Secret in there. And funny enough, John has been in every single one of my movies. So he's the only one that's been in all of them. So he and I are really good friends. Marie Diamond, who's in The Secret. You remember the Feng Shui expert, the energy expert. We've got Bob Doyle from The Secret. Remember Bob runs a program called Wealth Beyond Reason.
Yeah.
And then we've got, I'm just trying to, I'm always careful. I can't miss anyone, right? Like
I should have written the list.
So bad if I do. I want to apologize in advance. But we've got some really cool newcomers. We've got a gal from the UK, but she's originally from Italy by the name of Marina Bruni. She's actually by trade a lawyer that works with entrepreneurs. And she's got some really interesting insights again. We've got Travis Fox, who runs a program on architecture for yourself, like how do you build yourself into what you're going to be, and Dr. Karen Perkins as well, who also is a hypnotherapist talking about thought. And so, and then there's me, and we're gonna have a fun time. It's such a great movie. You guys are gonna love it.
So listen, what did you learn then as part of this process? Because like everything's learning, isn't it? You know, so you must have grown leaps and bounds again, you know.
Well, here's the thing that most people don't understand is, now, like I said, this is my 4th movie. And so throughout these movies, I get to spend time not only building a friendship with some of these great thought leaders, and like I said, having a discussion with someone like Bob, but I get to spend sometimes the better part of a day asking them any question that I want, anything, right? So I really get to know these people quite well. And there's a lot, I feel so bad, guys. There's a lot of really cool stuff that wouldn't make it into the movie, or otherwise it would be just like a 45-week miniseries, right? Like there's just no way you could put it all in. And then the thing that I think is really quite neat that that I have discovered, like I said, there's quite a few of these people that I invite back again and again to my films because I feel like they just really are authentically and genuinely really good teachers that care about people. And that's one of the really cool things that I learned. And I run a program called Personal Power Mastery, and I often will bring these speakers back to do our training. We've had John out a bunch of times, and we've had Bob and other guys out. And it's really interesting to kind of, how should we say, not only hear what they teach, but to see it in application, like in implementation, in real life, to see how it actually functions in a laboratory of real life, if you will. Yeah. And so for me, it's kind of, I get to see behind the scenes, but I also get to see what happens. And one of the things that I also just love about making these movies is just to really see the difference that they can make for people. No kidding. I've had some amazing experience. I had a gentleman in Antwerp, Belgium, who told me that he was about to commit suicide. And one of my movies and a CD changed his life. I had a prison that I spoke in, like a maximum security prison. It was really weird. Like they have you take off your tie and your belt and your watch and no shoelaces going in and all this. It was really weird, right? But going in there to see that there were actually people who were very touched by what was in the film, and now while in prison had made commitments to make changes in their life. It's just too bad they didn't see the movie before they went to prison. It might have been different for them, but it's been so like interesting. And even to have like even young children who, I didn't make the movie for kids, but they're affected by it, right?
They resonate so well with it, don't they? Absolutely.
Yeah. And it's that old saying that, you can count the seeds in an apple, but you can't count the apples in the seeds. And so it's just, to me, it's a blessing to be on this journey. It's a blessing to be a learner as well as a teacher on this journey. But I think probably the coolest thing is making these movies has really allowed me to travel the world and meet some incredible people who have some amazing stories. And in any way that I've been able to help, it's been literally an honor. It's been incredible.
No, it's awesome. I mean, I'm just like privileged, to have literally found you as well, as well as working with Bob. It's just literally like you say, it's a blessing, it's an absolute privilege. And one of the things you said there about, you know, what people learn after, and I know that you're actually setting up a group as well, an entrepreneurship
Yes.
group, where, because that's the thing, it's not just about watching something once, it's then about interacting with people and the
Yeah.
application of everything that they're going to learn from your movie. And so this is
Yeah.
something that you're setting up that gives people that chance to literally practice that and interact with people, like-minded people.
Yeah, well, we're doing something actually a little bit different as well. See, one of the things is we're looking at how thoughts become things. We also looked at how people learn and how they process information, and really, you know, how they implement it into their life as a regular fixture. And so one of the things that didn't happen with either some of my movies or even films like The Secret, there was never a kind of certified coaching program. So people just kind of jumped on the bandwagon and said, I'm a law of attraction teacher, and they'd only heard of it the night before maybe. So we're doing things a little different. We do actually have people that will be trained as certified How Thoughts Become Things trainers. We also have, accompanying the movie, a workbook that a person can use so that you could actually go in real time and follow along with the movie. There's also different online groups, and, you know, once the virus is done, some offline groups where people can kind of study it the same as you would in, say, a book club or a mastermind. And
Yeah.
we're actually providing additional materials that are not included in the film for groups like that. All you have to do is set one up and demonstrate that you've got a group that's ready to study. And I've also got even some bonus footage that will not be in the movie that will be really fun to talk about in those kind of groups.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think these kind of things need to be studied as a movement. And so, you know, we want to support anybody who would like to really learn how to master this material.
That's absolutely super. Well, I would love to do a live at 5 every day next week. So I don't know who you can have on Sheena's couch. I'm not going anywhere, so I might as well sit on this couch and talk to people.
And
So
you know what? Most of the speakers, they're going anywhere either, so it might be easier said or done than said. Let me reach out to some of these guys,
yeah.
see who we can get for you. But we'd be honored to in any way that we can support. We're going to have a really good experience with this movie. I'm grateful for your audience, and I'm grateful for the work that you do. If you happen to be watching this right now, just know that I'm excited to one day, once this is all done, meet you in person and share with you more on how your thoughts actually can engineer and manifest and create exactly what it is that you want.
Exciting times, exciting times. Listen, thank you so much for taking time out. I know you've got more work to get on with to get ready for Friday. So spot on.
Thank you. Have a super day. Thanks again for having me.
Yeah, see you, Doug. Bye.
Bye-bye.